Can y'all hear me? 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 Give me a second before I get started. Y'all, when I tell y'all, I am so burnt out right now, y'all. I'm tired. I really am. I need everybody to hear this because what I'm seeing right now, I thought it was me. I thought I was crazy, y'all. I try my best to not scream that, I feel like something discriminatory. I hope I'm saying that right. It's happening. I need for y'all to share this video because I know right now what I'm about to say, they may end up kicking me off of YouTube. I don't care though. I really don't care because I'm going to call out discrimination and I'm going to play a couple of videos of individuals that have been discriminated against, and it's obvious it's an agenda. Whew, saints. I need everybody to find some kind of way to get some folk up in here because what I'm about to say, y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all, Sister E may not be live, may not be on YouTube anymore. When I say what I got to say about what I've experienced, I promise you that possibly I'm going to be, they may not like me after this. So let's get these numbers up. Let's get these people in here. Because, this, I'm going to wait on this one. I'm going to wait till I get some people in here. So I need for everybody to share this. I need everybody to share this. I need some people in here because I need people to hear this. Definitely need people to hear this. Can y'all hear me fine? I hope y'all can hear me. tell y'all my experiences trying to find an apartment in New York. Some of the things that I've noticed. Some of the things that I've noticed. Yeah, straight discrimination, and you feel it. You feel it. You feel it. I'm gonna give everybody 5 minutes. I need everybody to see this. Get something else. Yeah, I feel it, y'all. I've heard people tell me stories of this. I'm like, no, that can't be the case. That can't be the case. That can't be the case. Y'all, when I say trying to find an apartment in New York is not a nightmare. A nightmare. It has been an utter nightmare. But you know what? I serve a Yah that can do exceedingly and abundantly above what I ask, I think. So let me close out a few things. Trying to see where the family is. Oh, where's my? Hold on, y'all. All right, y'all ready? Y'all ready? Y'all ready? So everybody knows that I had decided to move out of my prior apartment. One, it was a little bit too overpriced. Then all of a sudden, weird enough, I started having issues where myself and other neighbors had been complaining of pests. Now keep in mind, I'd been there for 2 years and never had a pest issue. Never had a pest. I've never had a pest issue in my life. Let me say that much. So when that came about, I said, "Oh no," and they couldn't fix it. So I said, "Yeah, my time here has ended. I'm getting ready to go ahead and just yeah, I'm getting ready to go ahead and end this little lease right here." Now keep in mind, I don't have no beef with my last place. I'll say that much. I don't. Let me do this real quick, y'all, before I really start this live. All right, so I've never had a beef with my last landlord. So let me make that clear. So I decided, I said, you know what? I'm going to, because I know how strict New York is when it comes to renting. I know that. I felt it. I've seen it. I've lived here for 2 years. So one thing you got to have is 40 times the rent. You got to have fairly good credit. You have to have, what else you got to have? Um, so the first thing they ask you is credit and income. So I said, let me get that taken care of. So I spent a month, sat back for a minute. I said, let me clean up some things on my credit. Let me make sure I get everything tight. So I'm gonna sit out for a month. I ain't gonna rent. I'm gonna stay with my mom, help her out, be there. But while I'm doing that, not just the rent, but because I'm just trying to, the aftermath of me not having a job, a few things, you pay just the minimum on your credit cards. I was paying the bare minimum. So I said, you know what? Let me get my credit card utilization down. One thing I know about credit is you can clean up your credit card utilization fairly quick. It's when you have poor payment history. Poor payment history is what's hard to resolve. It takes years, because what you have to do is when you're dealing with credit, they look at your payment history and is weighted on a percentage based on, I think, your total number of accounts, based on the times you've missed. It either show the percentage of you paying on time. So I got like 99% I pay on time. The short period when I didn't have a job, a few things kind of fell to the wayside, but 99, 98, about 99% of the time. 99% of the time I fairly pay. I pay all my bills on time. And really it was at 100 at one time. But like I said, when I fell off and didn't get a job, didn't have a job, something just kind of fell to the wayside because I had to make some decisions of, do I eat and pay my rent and pay my car note, or do I pay this credit card bill, which, you know, I would talk to creditors and say, look, I'm unemployed, been unemployed for 6 months. I'll pay y'all when I get it. So once I got the jobs, because I got more than one, I started doing things like paying all of it off to the point that I was able to get a brand new car right after I found a job. And I'm not talking about just a car. I got a brand new foreign luxury car as soon as I got the job, because I said I'm going to treat myself to something, because I done went through hell for the past 6 months. So I'm gonna get my dream car. So I got my dream car, which I gotta take to the shop because somebody hit me, which is fine. Praise y'all for car insurance. So, well, I'm not hit. Well, nobody hit me. I accidentally ran into a curb. Don't ask me why, y'all. But with that being said, I gotta take my little car to the shop. I'm fine with that. So I'm staying in my apartment and I make a decision, and I'm gonna play some videos of some people feeling the same thing. I said, you know, it's time for me to come out of this apartment. I said I was new to New York, didn't know what to rent. I went and rented something that really wasn't worth what I was paying. Um, I thought it wasn't worth what I was paying, so I decided to say I'm gonna come out of the lease. And then right at that time, my dad passed. It was a lot going on, so I was really like, let me do this. Now, my rental company, my landlord was cool as a fan. I just didn't like the rent. In fact, I had talked to my landlord, making sure that he would give me a good review if they call him. And he asked me, do I want to come back? This is my prior landlord. So it shows that in New York that I have pretty good relationship with my landlord. Yeah, I do. So I said, okay, I paid everything down. I got everything at a decent, like I said, fairly good utilization, and a few other things I want to do because I want to bring it all the way down. That's my goal. But I still said, okay, my credit was like this when I was moved into my apartment 2 years ago, so I shouldn't have any issues. So start looking. Now keep in mind, I've been looking for about about 2 weeks to a month. About 2 weeks I've been looking, about 2, 3 weeks. I've been looking for a couple of weeks. First place I looked at, um, I liked it, but it wasn't, what I needed. Hold on a second. It really wasn't what I wanted. But I was like, I'm good. I'm going to decline on that. Because one thing I said that, and plus you got to realize that living in New York, you have to have the deposit. The deposit is usually around the same amount as the rent. And you got to have your first month's rent. Then they have something in New York called fees, broker's fees, which does not make sense to me. A broker's fee consists of the equivalent of your rent and possibly even a little bit more that you pay a broker. Now, keep in mind, that's all this broker does is schedule openings. You come in, you look at it, and you make the decision if you want it or not. And they may do the posting of it, and they post it on Street Easy and Zillow and different places like that so people can apply. So you got to sometimes pay a broker fee. But if you go on Street Easy, you can have the option of decline finding listings that does not require a broker's fee. So I said, cool. So I look at the first place, and the first place I was like, I don't know about this, but I'm good. So I declined on that one. And then one way or another, I can't quite remember what happened with the first one. But I started noticing a pattern that some of these agents, if I wanted to go in certain neighborhoods, I don't mind calling out like Bed-Stuy or Was it Fort Greene, different areas like that. They started doing little stuff like the listing would be available and then the listing would disappear when I would talk to them. I've seen that happen. So I saw one in Flatbush. I like this. Oh, I like this one. This is nice. Now keep in mind, now this is an example of what transpires. This ain't the first time. It's a couple times that happened. And I started noticing it was a trend, but I'm gonna call this one out altogether. So this one particular realtor group, I will decline to say their name. But if y'all want to know, call me and I tell you, stay away from them. But this one particular realtor group, I was just messaging, constantly messaging. Hey, I'm interested. It's in my price range. Is this in a nice area? I really, really, really want to look into renting this. I said, I like this. I gotta breathe because I'm making myself mad. So we go to the place. Now. This has not happened but once. It's happened numerous times. Yes, redlining still exists, but go to the listing. Great, just in my price range. So I remember talking to the realtor. Now the realtor was not the broker was not at the facility. That's all we did was email. Me and him emailed the whole time. He finally reached out to me. He said, and he was nice. He said, I'm gonna give you some more listings. I got a whole lot. So me and him just texting and emailing and all that. He said, you need to have 40 times the rent. You need to be able to have a decent credit score. What is your credit score? Gave him the credit score front, everything. He says, okay, cool, go for it. Go to the listing. Nice apartment. Nice apartment. I noticed that the owners prior to me she didn't look like me, if you know what I'm talking about. So I'm looking around and it's just like, okay, and they accept dogs. Let me clarify, they accept dogs. So after I look at the listing, he says, make sure you FaceTime me. I'm thinking he wanted me to FaceTime him so he can walk me through it. God, and I've done that before. So I FaceTime him. When I FaceTime him, I look at his facial expressions, y'all. Now keep in mind, prior to that, he was constantly messaging me, constantly keeping me updated, following up. I said, oh, he on his game. I see the look on his face. I instantly know what's going on. See it dead in his face. So, with that being said, he says, okay, just make sure I'll send you the link to fill out your application. I said, cool, because keep in mind, this is a peak season for rentals. I said, okay, cool. Let me just make sure you send that to me so I can go ahead and fill it out. Left the viewing. An hour later, no response, no link. I said, okay. Messaged him. Hey, you haven't sent me that link. Where is it? Okay, I'll send it soon. Okay. Then thinking a big thing about it. It was Sunday. I'm thinking that, he's probably busy with his family. He probably, Saturday, I knew he wasn't going to respond because he was probably practicing the Sabbath. Hint, hint. So I proceeded to say, okay, wait all day Sunday. No response. I said, what is going on? Why haven't he sent me? So I'll check. I sent him another message. Hey, I'm ready to fill out my stuff. Now keep in mind, I've been through this process before. So I know what I need. I know I have to have my pay stubs. I know I had to have somewhat of a copy of my bank statements, which does not make sense to me. I know I gotta have, all these things, because I've done it before. No response. Now Monday's coming. Still no response. I said, okay. I'm texting him, he's not responding. Texting him, still no response. So I said, asked Madison, I said, Madison, do me a big favor. Text him real quick from your phone. So Madison proceeds to text him. He responds with a hi. Because she says, hey, I'm reaching out to you about X, Y, and Z property. He says, hello. Now keep in mind, 2 minutes ago I had messaged him, no response. Madison says, yeah, hey, my mother has been reaching out to you about the property for the link so we can fill out the application. Keep in mind, Monday afternoon. He says, oh, okay. He sends her the link and then turns around and sends me the link. I fill it out, attach everything, provide my income, everything. And y'all, my income doesn't, I praise the Most High God that I've been blessed, that my income is not, I'm good, put it like that. Provided my everything. He proceeds to message me back and said, hey, that property has already been list no, while I'm talking to him, let me add this to it. While I'm talking to him about the link to the listing and he gives it to me, all of a sudden, now keep in mind, Sunday, he tells me to go look at the property. Today is Monday. He decide while I'm talking to him and he sends me that link, all of a sudden I get a pop-up from Street Easy saying this property is no longer available. I said, what? Message him while he sends me the link. I said, hey, what happened to the property that me and you've been talking about? I've been waiting on the link for you. I just got a message saying it's not available. He said, oh yeah, it's not available. Somebody else got the property. Now keep in mind, I'm not an idiot. You on a Sunday tell me to go see it. You can't tell me between Sunday afternoon to Monday afternoon that the property all of a sudden came up already, contract pending, and the owner decided to go with someone else. You would have known that Sunday. You would have known that Sunday. So he says that, you're going to have to compete with the other person. So we just decided to, take it off the market. I said, okay. He said, but I got some more properties to look at for you to look at. I said, cool. Okay. I'm still a little salty about that one. I said, but let me see. And one of the properties he mentioned, I said, okay, it's still in the area, but it's a little far out, but I'm going to look at it anyway. It's not too far out. And then there was another property I was interested in that's still listed. He said, no, that's no longer listed either. Go look at this one property. He said, I got two in the building. I said, okay. I go look at the property, y'all. Can y'all hear me? The property is, now keep in mind, he says, and the property is ready for you to move into. He said, unlike this other property, I would have to wait. He said, but this property is ready for you to move in today. He said, it's ready. I said, oh, okay. So I go into the property. The ceiling, how you have those radiators, and the pole goes up to the top of the ceiling. It's connected to the radiator. The ceiling was swollen because of leakage. And it wasn't a small swelling, huge. Yes, it was in the hood. Smack dab in the middle of the hood. Under the sink, there's a hole, and they have cardboard boxes covering the hole. Let me look at my pictures of what I saw because I can't quite remember because I was furious. Let me see. Because I looked at it and I said, wow. So we here now. Hole under the sink, water at the bottom, hole behind the radiator pole. So guess what? Anybody that's from New York knows this, and I've learned this. That mice find holes to go through. I sat there and I said, he done went from taking me to a nice area to the hood. Very respondent then. I told him, I said, wait, hold on. I looked at the other property. Other property is bad as well. I messaged him and I said, this is all you got for me to look at? He said, yes. I said, one of the units you told me to look at has water damage, and the ceiling is swollen and stained. He said, okay. Nothing else from him. I sat there and I said, this is ridiculous. Now, another thing, my friend told me this. He said, from now on, when they ask you for credit score, ask for the required bandwidth of the credit score. What is the required? What's the required? They don't want to tell you. They don't want to tell you. Numerous agents. What's your credit score? What's the required credit score? Don't want to tell you. I've had people tell me you got to have a 750, 780. I said, that's not normal. Where I come from, if you got at least a 700, between 650 and a 700, you're good when it comes to renting, because it goes from fair. If you have fair credit up to good credit, you're good, because apartments are a little bit more flexible. Now, if you were buying a house, yes, 750 up to about 8 something, they want you to do that. And that's something that I'm working on. But I have fair, average, decent credit. It's not bad, and it's almost good. It's just feel like I said, when I was unemployed and all that, it just put me in a tizzy. But it's not bad. It's not bad. In fact, I saw an apartment that told us. Now, some apartments is cool. That said that you just have to have a minimum of that particular credit score, and I had it. But now I'm talking to people, they're saying you got to have a 750, 780, 730, 750, 780. I said, wait, hold on. Now keep in mind, like I said, when I lost my job last year, I had a few things that I kind of let fall by the wayside, because I was like, it's either eat or pay Capital One, eat or pay American Express. Keep in mind, I got American Express card that says something. Eat or pay Discover. Now, each credit card, I'm telling you, these are credit cards that you got to have decent credit to get. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna pay some of y'all the bare minimum, but some of y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all I'll pay y'all next month. Hopefully, I have a job. Now, because of that, I did explain to someone, look, I was unemployed, but if you look, the problem is not payment history, the problem is credit card utilization. So let me go ahead and get this down. I've heard all types of craziness when it comes to renting. Another thing that popped up. So when I looked at this unit, another time this has happened yesterday, in fact, loved the unit. Unit was in Sunset Park. I was like, I love this unit. It's cool. I'm looking for 3 rooms. It's got 3 rooms, because I was going to set my stuff up and do my lives. And my plan was to have a room that I could do my lives. My daughter can do her music. And then we got our bedrooms. And, I'm telling y'all, I ain't broke. I'm looking for 3 bedrooms, y'all. I'm not looking for 1 or 2. I'm looking for 3 bedrooms. But you're not going to charge me $3,500, $3,600 for a 3 bedroom. Not finna do it. It's just, each room is probably the size of a refrigerator. But we can work through it. Talk to the person on the phone. Talk to the person. The person says, yes, the apartment is available. Go here. But the problem, the apartment had to have a fee associated with it. I said, you know what? I got to go ahead and just bite the bullet and get a fee. I'm finna call Marzi. I'm just joking. I'm finna call some folk and say, look, I was gonna call my mom and say, look, y'all, I need a little help. No, I wasn't. Yeah, I was. I was gonna tell her, look, ma'am, you got it. I say that much. But I just messing with her. I was gonna go ahead and bite the bullet and get the fee. Saw it. Still in my price range. The guy let me in to look at it. Now keep in mind, the man told me I have 2 units in this building. I said, cool. He never told me the price was different in one unit. They both looked the exact same. I said, okay, but one had a washer and dryer. The other one had a washer and dryer connection. I was told that both of them had washer and dryers. So I go and look at the cheaper unit and I said, oh, I like this. This is nice. Oh, they ain't skin folk. These people I'm talking about don't look nothing like us. These people I've been dealing with. So not all skin folk is your kinfolk. They ain't the skin folk like us. They're the other people. So I walk in and I look at it and I say, man, this is tight. I like this. Me and my daughter went to the upstairs unit. I said, I like this one, but I don't feel like that much of a walk up because both of them were walk ups in a nice neighborhood. Leave and submitted my application. The owner wants like a 750 credit score, 700. He wants a high credit score. So I said, well, if you look at my payment history is good. He said, well, okay, that's cool. As long as you got that. Now keep in mind, I've already told these people what my credit score is. My credit is not bad, family. Credit's not bad. Credit's not bad. Credit is definitely not bad. I ain't gonna say I had never had bad credit, but my credit's not bad. My credit is good. It's average. It's not super high. Far as utilization, it's not high anymore. I'm sitting at like 40, between 40 50 utilization, and I'm bringing it down even more. But I've done it before and been able to still get an apartment with that. He says, I need your credit history. Download your credit details from Credit Karma. I need your and I told him, I said, well, Credit Karma, I'm gonna send it to you. Like I said, my credit utilization is high. I had a couple of months where I missed some payments due a year ago. But when you miss it, it still shows the overall. When you look at your credit, it'll just give you the green check mark of how well you've been paying, and then you have the little X's of places. And I had one particular credit card that I knew nothing about, and didn't use, and found out that it was a balance on there, which I didn't. I was like, what is this? So, but I had to fix that, which I told my son to fix that because I don't remember. I never used this card. So with that being said, I'm disputing it now. Because I ran across it and said, this isn't accurate. So I'm disputing it right now. So he said, I need your bank statements. I said, okay. Now I'm going to tell y'all this about my bank statements. My bank statement, I have about $6-7 grand in it overall because I've been saving, and I went into my family savings account and pull some money down. Let's see. I pulled some money down out of our family savings account because my mom has a savings account for the whole family, and we have money in there. And she just said, emergencies do this. This is an emergency. I got to find a place. So I knew that one of the things they need to see is money in your savings. I forgot to tell y'all that. Put a little money in my savings. Had like 6-7 grand just sitting there because I wanted to look good. And then prior to, I had like 4 or 5 sitting in there just from not having to pay rent. I still had some money, still residuals, still sitting in there. Give them that. They proceed to tell me, well, we need to see your rental history. I said, well, I don't know where to get that from. I said, but as I do, my landlord, you can call him. I'd already talked to my landlord. He said, don't worry about it. I got you. But keep in mind, my landlord is them. He ain't us. He them. He them. He said, but don't worry about it. He said, you were a good tenant. He said, I'll give you a good review. I said, okay. So I proceed to give them the information for the landlord. Landlord is good. So he comes back, the broker comes back and says, well, now within a day, y'all, here we go again. The one that you looked at is no longer available, but the second one you looked at is available, but it's $200 higher. That was outside of the range of my original amount. I said, no, that's outside of, because I'm one of those. I know I stick to my budget. I try to stick to my budget, because if I don't, y'all, I like to do things. I don't want to be rent poor. I was almost rent poor in this last one. I don't like to be rent poor. I said, I'm never spending that much on an apartment anymore. Never. I'm telling y'all, I was sitting here saying I wasn't rent poor in the other one, but it was just pulling at my money that I was just like, no, I can't do this. Because I like to do things like if I want to go out to dinner, I want to go and not have to think about, oh my gosh, I gotta do this. I've been rent poor in my life, God, and mortgage poor in my life before. And that ain't what it is. So I said, I'm gonna stick to my budget. He said, well, I'll talk the owner down. He said, but the owner does not like your credit history. I said, I don't have bad credit history. I don't have no repos. I ain't never had a repossession. I ain't never had an eviction. I ain't never had I've never had that. My problem is I had to bring my utilization down on my credit. I know me. I've done enough research. So I can talk the game just like the rest of them. I said, my payment history is good. So what's the problem? That's the only issue right now is my credit cards. I need to bring that utilization down. I told you during the couple of months I was unemployed, there were moments in time that I was not paying it. But if you look at my history afterwards, I was paying stuff, paying it all, paying it all, paying it all, paying it on time. So obviously the little short stint that I was not doing what I was doing did not impact my payment history. My payment history is very important. Again, I'm teaching y'all payment history is hard to fix. It takes some time to fix. Credit utilization, you can fix quickly. So I'm bringing that utilization down to almost 40, 50%. Not a problem. I said, then I'm gonna go back and do finish paying that off. That just makes sense. So I said, I got my budget, I got all this stuff together. So he proceeds to tell me, we'll look at the unit up top. I said, that ain't what I want. He said, well, the landlord is concerned. He said he wants to know if you're going to pay your rent on time. I said, oh, that's easy. I said, call my past landlord. I said, I put him down as a reference because you asked in the application, who is your landlord, and give us the number. I said, have y'all called that number yet? He said, no. He called my landlord. My landlord gave me a great review. Guy says, that's still not enough. Still not enough. I need a breakdown. I need to know if you've ever been late. So I sent him I found it on ClickPay, my history, my payment history on ClickPay for my rent. I paid pretty much always on time. I paid on time. You got the 5-day grace period. Now some days I pay it right on the 5th, but I had that relationship with my owners. She gonna always pay on time. I got an email today saying that's still not enough. He wants more details in your payment history for your rentals. For what you've rented. I sent an email to him and said, thank you so much for your time. That's how we spoke to the angel. I said, but I declined to move forward anymore with this process because for the sake of my mental peace and the owner ease his mind, I'm not going to give you any more information. I'm done. Thank you. Don't worry about it. We're moving on to the next unit. Not finna waste my time. If you don't like it, just say no. But don't take me through hoops, leaps, and bounds. Not to mention, y'all want not just my credit, my background history. Y'all want my daughter's. She's not on the lease. She's not going to be paying rent. But y'all seem to want her credit history as well. Why do you need my daughter's credit history? I'm the one that's going to be the primary payer. Now, if we were roommates, that's one thing. When do you start? Your kids can't live with you anymore? You got to give them your kids' credit history. My daughter's 20. She's going to college. No, I'm not giving y'all that. Well, we need it because of any tenant, we need to know that. Do a background check. No, we need to know her credit history. Why? She's not paying anything. We need her bank statements. This is the stuff that you deal with. I sat there and I said, you know what? I'm good. I done went through, I'm talking about back and forwards. This is ridiculous. I said, I might just sit tight for the next couple months and just go ahead and just buy a house. It's probably better. I'd go through leaps and bounds. I've been through it before. Getting a house, yes, you got to go through the hoop. Been there, then had to do all types of stuff. Not finna do it for no rental property. Excuse me. Have you lost your mind? Every single rental unit I've ever used, I've left with good background. They've never ever, ever protect. That's what I said this morning. I am going to protect my peace and my integrity. So I said, you know what? I'm not going through this for a rental unit because it's not mine. I don't own it. If I'm buying something and I own it and I want to own it, that's the time that I'm going to go through hoops for, because this is my land. But going through hoops for somebody else's land, not finna do it. I said, keep your property. I will figure it out. No worries. It's going to take me a little bit. But with that being said, let me play a video for y'all. Fair use. Let me play this fair use video. Let me do this fair use before I play this video. So a prominent actor, this in June, was trying to get an apartment in Harlem. Now, not to mention, I'm looking at other, I've been ghosted. When I tell y'all, this is ridiculous. But let me read this for y'all, this little disclaimer before I start on what I'm about to show y'all. So, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, new reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Now, I'm done. Let me play this video for y'all. Like I said, fair use. I thought it was me until I ran across some stuff and I said, oh, so this is what we're doing now. Y'all see him? We've seen him in numerous movies. Actor says he was denied housing over race. Bigots are real. Play this for y'all.
Wendell Pierce says he was denied housing due to race. Here it is.
A young family member graduated from Howard University, has his first job in New York. I take him apartment shopping, and I wanted to make sure that he got a decent apartment, and I was backing him up. We found an apartment in Harlem. I gave them all of my bank statements and employment and all, and then I was denied. And I realized that they used the technicality of saying that I did not have steady, consistent employment. Most actors work in 3-month periods, 3 months here, 3 months there. And because it wasn't a continuum of employment, no matter how much income I showed them, I own properties around the country. I showed them all my bank statements. I even offered to pay a year in advance, the complete rent for a year, and I was denied. And I realized that that was by design, that the application was designed that way to be discriminatory. And that was the anecdote that I shared because I wanted to show the damaging effect of when bigotry is memorialized in law.
That is fascinating.
Y'all, when I tell y'all, when I saw that yesterday, they gave me a bit of ease. I said, I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. I thought I was crazy. I said, y'all, yesterday I was in tears. I'm talking about in tears. I mean, when I say I was bawling have you ever cried so hard to the point you're exhausted and you just have to go lay down and take a nap? That's how upset I was because I hit a brick wall. I said, I've given y'all everything that y'all need. Y'all taking me through leaps and bounds. And because y'all keep saying sue. They have so many. In New York, the owner is not required to tell you why they decline. They've created so many loopholes that if you sue, they got another law. Like I've had some people tell me, I need for you to have $12,000 in your checking account. I need for you to have 12. Who the heck? I'm not going to cuss. Who has $12,000 sitting in their savings account just because of the economy right now? We're in the middle of an economy where there's issues where it's inflation. Things are higher. Things are more expensive. Things are just ridiculously expensive. So you're paying almost double. Not to mention I live in New York, so you might as well add another percentage higher. So guess what? Everybody in the US is feeling the clinch right now. Even those with stable jobs. Your savings account, you're pretty much pulling out of your savings account to sustain yourself this day and time. Just to sustain yourself. But now all of a sudden you got to have 12,000. Now that's just me. Now this man has property, so he has assets. Real estate agents have assets. Guess what? They have apartments. It's not steady income, but they don't have a problem getting places. This man has an acting career, not just any acting career. He's well known. So you know he got money in his account. And y'all decline him? Yeah, y'all, something's going on. I'm gonna play y'all another video. Now, the next video, if you don't want to hear cussing, close your ears, because she's a straight raw New Yorker and her language is not the best. But I want y'all to hear what's going on.
Fascinating. Wow. With millions watching and many people benefiting from this program called Indisputable, we just need 1% of the viewers to become a paid member so we can continue to bring this content to you. Now back to the show. Now, I own a couple of properties myself. I know a little bit about how the credit dynamic is handled. Usually, if there is a technicality like that and you have a specific type of employment that's congruent to the industry standard of that employment, then that has an easy override to it. It's no problem. You got the money, they're going to figure it out. Put it up. So Mr. Pierce took to social media on Monday to share that his application for a damn New York City apartment that he agreed to pay a year in advance, owns properties, etc., had been denied, which he alleged was due to race. Now I'm going to read this, but keep it up because I want to say this. They could have just qualified him as a simple business owner because of the properties that he owned. They could have qualified him under sole proprietorship because he has stated income, and that stated income through his actual own properties can be attributed to continual employment. There are all kinds of ways they could have done this if they wanted to. That's the part. If they wanted to, okay? He says, for those of you who don't understand my righteous anger, I'm on 2 TV series. I'm filming Superman. 2 years ago, I finished the 4th season of Jack Ryan. Last year, I finished a run on Broadway in Death of a Salesman. Even with my proof of employment, bank statements, and real estate holdings, a white apartment owner denied my application for rent to rent the apartment in Harlem, of all places. Racism and bigots are real. There are those who will do anything to destroy life's journey for Black folk. When you deny our personal experiences, you're vile, you are as vile and despicable. The next day, Pierce shared a link to Wall Street Journal story regarding appeals court that blocked Atlanta-based investment firm Fearless Fund from running a grant program for Black women, a story we covered yesterday right here. And I want you to keep that picture up. And we're going to remind everyone of an op-ed I wrote in Rolling Out, July 9th, 2023. It was right after the Supreme Court ruling to gut affirmative action policies inside of higher education. And I said in one of the lines in this particular op-ed, for my progressive allies who are for diversity and inclusion but did not like the implementation protocols of certain affirmative action policies and agreed with SCOTUS's ruling, keep in mind, this was never about colleges, but rather setting the foundation for future rulings to ban diversity efforts in workplaces, public institutions, and beyond, which required either a new federal law or, in this case, a federal case law, i.e. the ruling at hand. So now what do you see? You see that cause and effect relationship coming to fruition today. Fearless Fund, apartment discriminating against a multimillionaire named Mr. Pierce, who has gainful employment as one of the, has a robust Hollywood record and currently working, not an out-of-work actor. None of these things apply to him. He owns properties. He has separate independent holdings, all of it. And the apartment would argue, or the person who is in control of the process will argue, I have the right to discriminate. Okay? It's a hell of a thing. So while I appreciate the response, this is what he said in the quote, I appreciate the response to my own personal experience of discrimination in housing. I only mention it as an example of the insidious nature of bigotry, Pierce wrote. This court decision is profoundly more disturbing and injurious. Call to action. Prior to sharing the article, Pierce also published an X thread about the appeals court decision, writing that the effort being made to deny Black folks from participating in life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness is abhorrent. Private business deal blocked by the courts. What happened to less government intervention in our lives? Mr. Pierce is a very smart man, brilliant, I would add, remarkable actor. I mean, my goodness, he's a great actor. And he's willing to stand up and be a leader in a time where leadership is needed. I applaud you, sir, all the way around. Thank you for having the courage to come out and say this, because there's a segment of Hollywood that would prefer you to never say anything about the bigotry that Black people face, especially somebody like you.
Now, y'all keep in mind, I've seen apartments that accept the range that I provide as far as my credit score. My salary is impeccable. I praise the Most High, y'all, that I have a decent salary to be putting my daughter through school, maintaining an apartment or a condo, maintaining my car, maintaining, even in the near future, I said in 2 years, I'm gonna give my daughter time to get done with college. I said she'll be done in 2 years. Then I might just go and buy a house. Until then, we have our family house, and I want to make some renovations to that as well. But right now I've never been ready to purchase a house. One, I like to move and go places and see things, and I've never been. And I've been in a house before. I got my first mortgage, me and my husband, when I was married, and we were like 20. And after that ended, and we got and the housing bubble happened in 2008. I said, I'm not buying no house right now. I'm gonna take a break. I'm just gonna do my thing. But again, it's obvious something is going on. It's obvious something is going on. Like I said, he was 100% in until he saw my face. Yesterday, when I went to see, I know the super probably told them, possibly. Guess what? No response. They ask you questions without giving you a range. If LinkedIn is requiring New York to put salary ranges, these landlords need to put their ranges when it comes to credit scores, when it comes to because if you can tell me 40 times the rent, you can tell me what the range is when it comes to credit score. You can tell me what is expected when it comes to my bank statements. What is required to have it? What am I required to have in my checking account and my savings account for you to even look at me? Don't call me and then I tell you I got $6,000-$7,000 in my account. You tell me nope, that's still not enough. Wait, hold on. How much am I supposed to have? If I have a minimum, they want to know: do you have assets? Liquidation of assets, and do you have? This man has assets. Still a no-go. Something's going on, y'all. Something ain't right. And we already know what's going on. But they have so much control over the systems in New York that our mayor, who is a joke, he's never for his people. He for his pockets. Because just here recently, another Black man went before New York court system back in June to say, do away with these brokers' fees. This is not doable for us. Mayor Adams is a joke. Nobody wants to put any regulations on this, but they want to do whatever they want to do, and they don't care, and they know it. They can tell you no. I have enough legal backing to tell you no. I could tell you, I got enough. Well, tell me, because every single time I've asked, what's the credit range? What is required for this? What is the income requirement? What is this? They'll give you the income requirement and just say, give us your score. I'm not giving you anything. I ain't giving you nothing. You tell me what you expect, and we'll go from here. I have heard, I've heard so much, y'all, to the point that I'm not even, yeah, I've heard a lot. Yep, I heard a lot. So what they're doing is actively not allowing you to go into the Harlem, because Harlem is no longer black. Let me clear that up. You go to Harlem now, is more of, the clear people than it is black. I went into Harlem and was sitting in Harlem and just looking at the people walking around. I said, where are the black people? Going to Bed-Stuy now. Not a lot of black people. I don't see black people a lot. See a whole bunch of them, but I don't see that. Going to Fort Greene, which I think Biggie or either Spike Lee and all of them, brownstones, no black. I heard New Yorkers say that the face of New York is no longer the face of New York. New York is being gentrified before our eyes. I call gentrification um, nothing but a cleaned up version of colonization. That's all it is to me. You go in, you harass the owners to come out of the neighborhood, you put so much taxes on them, you put so many stipulations that they can't keep the properties. They got to come out. Y'all buy them for a cheap price and then sell them to other people for 3 times the price. And the people who originally grew up in there can't come back. I've heard New Yorkers on TikTok say, this ain't my neighborhood. This ain't what it used to look like. This ain't what it looks like. Now, I get what you're saying right here. Some of them have. Some of them have. But sometimes the young people, they put so much, sometimes it's the parents that go on and sell them, but they can't sell their properties. But sometimes they put so many stipulations that they make it so hard for you to keep the property. You have no choice but to sell. You don't think the insurance companies try to do it? The insurance companies try to do it. They tax you. The taxes are so ridiculously high. Sometimes they find stipulations in your apartment that say you're not within code, and actually you probably are. Like they tried to do that with my mom's roof and said they were no longer going to insure you because your roof has a hole in it. My mom said no, it doesn't. They said yes, it does. I'm trying to figure out how they know she had a hole in her roof, but that's neither here nor there. Or an issue with her roof. What she could have done, when most black people do, is I'm a sell because I gotta have insurance. My mom has money. Mom said I'm gonna fix my roof. Okay, moving on to the next insurance company. They do stuff like that to make you sell because they want these properties. And again, sometimes they play upon the older people, and the older people been in, you know, got these refinance loans, and then they can't. It's just so many things that they do to other people to cause them to have to sell. And guess what? They take the property, they sell it cheap, fix it up. Now keep in mind, some of these fixtures they put in some of these apartments out here, I've seen them. They are held on by duct tape. They went and got the cheapest, prettiest fixtures and say, "Ooh, ta-da! Look at this." And you sitting here saying, "If I pull this door too hard, this is gonna fall apart." But with that being said, I'm sitting there and I'm like, literally, it's not cool. Now keep in mind, I'm what you would consider to be what you call a transplant. I'm not from here. I'm here working. I'm not here. But again, I respect the environment and respect the culture of New York. Each city has its own culture. Black people, we have the same culture, but we make it work for us. I'm a Memphian. I'm from Memphis. Guess what? I respect the culture of Memphis. If you come and you're a transplant, that's fine. But respect, I really believe in that. So I came here. I respect the culture of New York. I'm not a New Yorker. I respect that. But when you gentrify, you have no respect for the culture in the city or the area you're gentrifying. And if anything, you try to mimic it to make it look like it's them, but it's actually gentrifiers. I was in Bushwick, and I think Bushwick is known, an area in New York, I think is known for graffiti. Um, you can see the gentrified, I call it gentrified graffiti. Some art major at NYU or Columbia, their rich parents gave them money to buy a 1 bedroom studio or studio apartment rather in Bushwick, and he gets to or she gets to fulfill their dreams of doing graffiti art, and I'm gonna do it in Bushwick. Stop. That's we can tell. I can tell the difference. Respect the culture. So what's going on is what we call liberals. This is the generation that's fighting for pro-Palestine. Guess who their parents probably are? Conservatives, possibly. Giving them money to live in these neighborhoods and then turn their nose up to individuals that don't quite look like them. That's what I see going on right now. But it's a game. So you want that element in the neighborhood because that element is going to pay $5, $6, $4,000 for a flat. They're going to pay their moms and dads going to send them $5,000, $6,000 because that's all it is. They're going to send them $5,000 to pay. But you don't want the one over here that doesn't have parents that with a trust fund, but got a job and can pay your bills. Come on now. You want it to look a certain way. Y'all. This is ridiculous. And I'm like, this poor man right here, not him, but Willie Pierce got the money. And they told him no. So what you think they're going to do with me? So let me play this other video. What time is it? Y'all. Now keep in mind, for those who have sensitive ears, this lady cussed like a sailor. But she hilarious. I was listening to her video. I don't know what her background is. Let me emphasize that. I do not know her background, but I know this video was funny. Let's see. Here it is. Now, keep in mind, this lady cussed like a sailor. So everybody with sensitive ears, but this is a good video though. Ignore the cussing and listen to the message and what she's saying. Get to that video. Y'all, that's weird. My computer started glitching. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? I'm gonna play this video again. That was weird. My computer started glitching. And I could not get in. I was trying to get in, and we'll start this video. I'm just not going to expand it this time.
So everybody that knows me or follow me online knows that I'm in the process of looking for an apartment after selling my home, right?
Can y'all hear
The
it?
apartment struggle that I have been going through in New York City is
Fair
no
use.
fucking joke. You cannot tell me that there is no housing discrimination, okay? And I'm gonna explain to you why, right? I have seen a good 40 apartments in the Bronx area. I'm trying to say in the Bronx area only because I'm working in the Valhalla section, which is the Westchester County. I kind of want to stay in the Bronx, Bronx area, Suffolk County, Hudson County. I've been everywhere looking for an apartment. My budget is $2,500. My credit is decent. My income is sufficient. Everyone that knows me knows that I've always worked 2 jobs. So my income from last year and the year before that reflects that and is enough to get into an apartment. There's money in the bank. I'm okay. I don't have a criminal history, right? I come with no pets. It's just me. It's just me. A working professional, just me. Tell me why I done seen like 45, maybe 45, 50 apartments. I only qualify for 5 of them. And let me tell you what those 5 are, right? Basement apartments, rodent fill apartment, roaches, cracked walls, old apartments. You know those new gentrified apartments that they have going up? I'm qualified for those. Oh no, I get turned down. So I asked my realtor, what's going on? What's the reason now? Like after a while, you want to know like what the fuck is going on, right? Excuse my language. You know what, Bella? They're not required to tell you what it is, but what's happening is to say, somebody offered them more money. Oh, so that's what they're doing. So this is what's going on in this world, right? So if the market price is $2,200 for a 1-bedroom apartment, and you come in and offer $2,400, you automatically knock me out the box because they're gonna take that applicant over me. Or you want to offer 20? You want to offer 24 for 2,200? I'm gonna take her. I'll take her too. I'll take them too if I was a realtor, right? I'll take them too. But it's not fair for everyone else, right? It's not fair. It's absolutely ridiculous what's going on in this world. It's about money. It's about who you know. It's just so fucking crazy. I have no choice right now but to utilize my 30 days and extend my closing date. And I'm pissed about that because I'm ready to go. So now I got to stay extra 30 days in this apartment, in this house, extra 30 days. So video cut off. I have no choice but to utilize my 30 days. So rather than it being
Crazy thing is, somebody said they want us to be homeless. Baby, I will pack it up and go back to where I came from before I sleep in the streets for anybody. It's not that serious for me. But it's obvious, and I'm not saying anything towards you, but I'm just saying they do want us to be homeless. There is something going on. Now, keep in mind, I can understand if I was just the one complaining and saying something ain't right. You got a whole actor, Wendell Pierce, who is well known. I remember seeing him in Waiting to Exhale as when I was younger. He's been in numerous movies. And they tell him no. When I saw that, I said, I'm not crazy. So let me find somebody else. She popped up. And she's right. They'll take you to go see the one. The one that I saw had the hole in the ceiling. That screams pest issue, roach issue. Went to look at another one that they were very happy to go see me, to show it to me. Nothing but black folks was looking at it. And it was so bad the black folks was just shaking their head and saying, I'm not going in there. They not fixing them up. I walked into one apartment, y'all. Guy was eager to show it to me. And I'm not saying anything, I don't know nothing about the guy, but I'm just saying they don't care nothing about. They'll make the gentrified neighborhoods look beautiful. But in them good They gonna make it look any kind of way. The walls, you know how people, how y'all lay, I think it's called plaster on the walls, and you kind of level it to make it look like the wall is, you know, a wall. And then you go over the wall some more to make it actually look like a wall. It looked like they laid plaster, half did it, plastered over the light fixture, plastered somewhat over the plug fixture. You see, and it's sitting here saying, and moisture, you can see the moisture coming from the ceiling, and the one of the ceiling, some of the ceiling hanging. I sat there and I said, what? You show me walls cracking and you telling me it's ready. Wait, you asked me what hold on, you asked me what I do for a living. You asked me hold on. It don't matter no more about you working any type of job. No, no, no. You're a director. Okay. You're a black director. Go and live in the hood. I don't have I'm a director. That's exactly what I am for a company. I'm not, thank breathe. I just like her. I don't have and I ain't knocking people. I'm not calling out my role like it's important. No, I'm not. Everybody deserves a nice place to live in. I'm not saying that. Let me clear that up. But I'm saying at one time, our roles and our access and all that would give us access to other things. It don't matter no more. They'll put a black CEO in a hovel if they could. They could. It doesn't matter. I had one to ask me, do you make this salary by yourself? Yes. When they asked me that, I said, wow, okay. I moved on. Just didn't think anything about it. But it don't matter no more, y'all. It used to matter. Used to matter. It doesn't matter.
Closing date of July 19th is going to extend into August 19th. Now, normally I wouldn't care about that, right? Because I need the extra 30 days. However, the apartment that I did get accepted to, that I found on my own, is not going to wait until August the 19th. Because I just found out today. She needs that lease signed right away. And in order for me to get into that apartment, I need at least $8,000 to get into that apartment. And I'm sorry, unless, I'm selling myself in the corner, that's not something that's feasible at this moment until my closing arrives. I'm telling you.
This point right here. That shows that they don't care. Let me emphasize, Wendell Pierce, that's how I hope I said his name right first time, offered to pay a whole year's rent in advance. A whole year's rent. So he's saying literally, don't worry about month-to-month payment. Here's your whole rent. It's paid for. Go in. There should not even been an argument or a discussion, because the reason they're looking at your history, credit history, and all that, your rental history, to ensure that you pay your rent on time every month. That's not a conversation piece anymore. When you say you're gonna pay the whole, that's like buying a house cash. When you buy house cash, there is no discussion. No discussion whatsoever. Obviously, Wendell Pierce doesn't have a bad background because he's on TV. I hadn't heard anything about him in mainstream media. So they can't say he has a criminal past. The young man he was helping was just coming out of Howard. Howard don't play that. If you got some issues, they kicking you out quickly. So it shows you. The man said, I will pay the rent for a whole year. The whole year. The whole year. He said, I'll pay y'all the whole rent. They still told him no. This is the stuff people dealing with right now.
It is unbelievable what's going on in this world. How the fuck are people supposed to get into an apartment when you're charging them nearly $10,000 to get into an apartment? I don't know about you, but I don't have it. And like I said in my last video, I asked them in the back, they ain't got it either. So guess what Bella's gonna end up being? Yeah, I got friends. I got friends that will offer me a place to stay. But I make enough money. I'll just go into a hotel. But where my stuff is gonna go? I can't carry all my stuff to a hotel room. I gotta put it in storage, right? So that's gonna cost me money. On top of that, the moving company is gonna have to come to the storage unit and move everything. I am so done with New York City that I swear on my mother's soul that it wasn't for the fact that I'm waiting to get my education intact and just get a little bit of experience in this new title that I have, I would fucking leave New York and I would never ever return. I am so hurt because it's fucking discrimination. It is. They don't even give you a chance. They just take whoever has the money. And it's not right. It's not right. Because I deserve what everybody else gets.
Y'all hear that? Y'all hear that? That's how I felt yesterday. I ain't finna sit here and say I ain't say no cuss words yesterday. Oh, I had some words. Let me get my charger. My laptop is about to die. Hold on, y'all. But this is what's going on right now. This is what's going on right now. And people saying leave New York, y'all. I've heard nightmare stories in other places within the U.S. as well. This isn't just this isn't just in New York. New York is bad. But other cities are doing the same thing. They try to push us to these neighborhoods that are not the best. They try and take these properties from the elderly instead of passing the properties down through the generations by saying, we'll buy your property. And they mostly go into these Black neighborhoods. They don't go to the white neighborhoods and go and they knock on their doors and say, hey, let me buy your property. They're not doing that. They're going to the Black neighborhoods and saying, we'll buy your property. Or putting them in those refinancing loans older people ended up signing up for and ended up having a whole new mortgage. They set them up. They play games. Good thing is I was raised by my mom is a businesswoman. She ain't gonna play no games like that. She already understand the game and see the game. And my dad was like that. So when they came to the house, they knew he was finna say, get out of here. My mom said, this property, this is y'all decision and what y'all want to do. She said, I didn't live my life. I'm gonna enjoy my golden years. She said, I'm not selling. She said, but if y'all want to sell, y'all sell. She said, but I'm sitting tight. And guess what I told my sister? I said, we're not selling anything. My mom sat down and talked to us recently. You know, with my dad passing, reality sunk in. She said, when I pass, these are the things that I have laid aside for y'all to do. Do this, do that. I got this, I got that. She talked to us, baby, talked us through it. And I'm sitting there, I'm already still trying to heal from my dad passing. She said, baby, hold those tears back. I ain't gone yet. She said, but if you don't take care, she always told me, she said, if you don't take care of your business, you're going to be crying as they taking your stuff. She always taught me that. She still teaches me that. She said, everything you need to know, I already got it laid out. Y'all need to follow through with it. whatever y'all decision y'all make with this house, don't y'all fight. She said, because they'll attempt to take it from you. My mom had a litigation issue when she was younger. She was raised by her grandmother, who was very, well off in the city of Memphis, and had this amazing rental property where people were rooming houses and rental units. And when her grandmother passed, she passed it down to my mother. At the time, my mother was like 24, was 25, because I was born by that time. The city of Memphis tried to take the property from my mother. This is in the 70s, saying that she was not mature enough to handle it, or tried to say that she wasn't something. They tried to take it. And my mom had to fight to keep something that was willed to her. The lawyers tried to come at her and take it from her. But because she was well prepared at 25, she had to get testimonies from her pastor and different people to show that she was able to and capable of taking care of it. But they was trying to take it from her, but they didn't, and she took care of it until she was ready to sell it and got her some money and be able to go on and move on and buy another house. This is the world. See, they do Black people like that. They do us like that because they think it's easy. Like I said, I've never seen these buy your home cash. I'll never see them go in the white neighborhood. I've seen them go in the Black neighborhood, and every single time, sometimes they fall for it. Have you noticed that certain neighborhoods, it's a bunch of rental properties, but nothing for sale? Ask yourself the question of why. Ask yourself the question of why. Because these people are waiting until this last generation get out. They're gonna start kicking these people out those rental properties, fixing them up and raising the rent on it. This is the world we live in, y'all. But I thank God for a mother that's teaching me, and a father that taught me to not allow your emotions to get the best of you when you start doing dumb stuff. My mama told me, she said, when I pass on, cry after you take care of your business. I used to think that she was so cold. She used to say that when I was younger. She would say, cry after you take care of your business. She said, because while you're in tears, they're gonna be taking your stuff. She used to say that to me, and I'd be like, why is she saying this to me? Because she's been through it. She's been through it. And she knows that this system is dirty. And sometimes it's our own skin folk. They use our faces to attack us. Mama said, cry after. She said, cry at the funeral. She said, but when it's time to take care of the business, sit down and take care of the business. And then once everything is taken care of, my mom said she did not really grieve and cry until the day she went to court. This is in the 70s. And the court system made a decision in Shelby County that she was capable of keeping her grandmother's property and gave all rights to her own. I think my great grandmother's legal team or somebody was trying to take the property from her, but they deemed her and her, able to take care of it, and they gave everything, and it was her last court day. My mama said when she got done with everything, she said it took her some months, 3-4 months to get everything finalized. She said she went in the house and shut the door and screamed and cried. Because then she said, I can cry now. And I've taken care of my business. My mom said I was a baby. I had to be a couple of months old that they had to call my dad from work to come to see about my mama because she was distraught. Because she said, I can let go. So I thank God for the wisdom that was passed down to me from my great grandmother, my grandmother, my mother, my father, to teach me these things. I was getting ready today to disturb my peace and find more documentation for this property that I wanted to rent. Now keep in mind, they said we want to see your assets. If I want to show them more money, I could. But I refuse. I'm not gonna let y'all get that far in my business. I can easily go. I can go to the family account and say, this is what we have. But I'm not gonna do that. That's not your business. I'm renting. I'm not buying your property. I'll let y'all see what's in my checking account, but I'm not gonna let you go see what's in the other checkings. None of your business. No, I'm not gonna let you see that. No, I'm not gonna let you see the properties and assets again. No, it's none of your business. Either you'll rent it or you're not. As far as you're gonna get is in my checking account. That's it. That's it. That's all you're getting out of me. And then they turn around and say, well, that's still, you asked for this is the last property I just saw. You asked for my rental history. I gave it to you. They said, well, your history is just for this coming year, that last year or last year. What about the rest of it? I'm not going to give y'all the rest of it. Why? Y'all got my written for the past 2 years. Y'all been seeing that I done paid on time because I didn't give y'all the last 3 months. Y'all think I'm going to do that now? I'm not going to search for that. Out of sheer principle, I'm not going to do it. Because I ended up giving them the dates. You can have so many dates in there and send it to them as a PDF. That's all y'all getting. Y'all don't need to see the last 3-4 months. I refuse. You say, I want to see that you paid your rent on time. It showed that I paid my rent on time. What's next? Well, he's still not comfortable. He needs more documentation. What other documentation? The owner said, not the owner, but the landlord told you I was a great tenant. I gave you my rental history to show that I paid my rent on time. I gave you my income to show you I get paid. Not only that, because I gave you 2 of my W-2s, because last year I was working 2 jobs. I was working one and I was doing some consulting, and then I got this job and I quit both of them and took the main job that I have now. Did some consulting, but it shows that I had a little bit of money. And I didn't do the consulting but for a month. For 4 months I ain't had no job. So I said, yeah, it's not going to show last year that I made what I said because I was unemployed, but I did make it up. But we need to know what your income really looks like. Okay, let me give you a letterhead for my job to show you. And had them to do it. My HR team typed it up, sent it, and said, she does this, 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 this. She makes this, 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 this. What else you want? He's still not comfortable. I said, well, let me tell you this. Before I spend another day on this and waste my time, how about this? I decline on it now. Tell that owner he can keep his property and I'm good. And I'm going to sleep good about it. And I ain't going to miss a beat because guess what? Not only is this owner going to give me the blues once I get in, if I was to get it, he's definitely going to give me the blues when I get in there. And one thing I'm going to do is guard my peace. Yesterday, I lost my peace. I gave them my peace for a second. I cried. I broke down because I said, that's all I'm trying to do is find somewhere to live. What is the problem? And cried. Woke up this morning and said, I refuse to give any more of my time nor hand them any of my peace. If you're that concerned for my peace of mind and yours, I decline. Thank you so much for your time and your energy. I'm good and I'm out. I would go live with friends. I would live in Airbnbs. Before I hand these folks my peace, baby, I will find a way to sustain myself. I just have to keep going. But not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. No, I'm not. So with that being said, y'all, that's where I've been. That's why I've been quiet. I've been trying to do this. But I wanted to show what Wendell Pierce went through, this other young lady went through, the other lady went through, to show y'all this is crazy. This is crazy because we don't fit the face that they want in their neighborhoods. They don't want us. Oh no, they don't want us in their neighborhoods. This is the system we live in right now. And they have enough they don't want us. No, baby, I'm not. Try that with somebody else. I'm good. And first and foremost, I don't like the fact that we have a conversation about one price and then all of it. And you told me that it was a wash and dry in the unit. I remembered that. Now all of a sudden the one upstairs has a washer dryer. The other one didn't have one in because they were still working on things. You raise the price on it, and then you want to take me through leaps and bounds, and the one I originally looked at, all of a sudden within less than 24 hours, is gone. Oh no. And then not to mention the first one, where all of a sudden, and keep in mind, y'all, the first one I told y'all the story about when he saw my face, that as soon as he took the listing down, a couple of hours later, the listing was back up as active, available immediately. When I saw that, I sent him a message and said, is this property available? Because it shows. He said, no, it's not. He's lying. The property shows, it went from, in Street Easy, it shows how long the property has been on Street Easy. When they take it down, it resets the number. It went from being 10 days on Street Easy when he took it down, and he republished it to a day on Street Easy. So he republished it. It wasn't like he took it down or never took it down, because the excuse is, oh, we never took it down when somebody got it. No, that's not the case, because you took it down. Why would you intentionally put it back up? So it went from 10 to 11 days being available on Street Easy to when he took it down and put it back up, one day it's been on Street Easy for one day. So that was intentional. They saw this ninja and they said this ninja can't have it. Y'all did all, that's what's so stupid is y'all did all that for this one blackface. Y'all took a property down just to put it back up on Street Easy because y'all didn't want me in there. I'm thinking that they didn't want me in there. Who has the time and the energy to hate someone that much and not know them to do that? I knew when he saw my face. You know how I said, when he saw my face, I said, here we go. Here we go. And what he'll lie about and say, oh, no, the person we thought was going to go, they decided not to go with them. Well, if you know somebody who's already got an application, because keep in mind, I still have an application active with that apartment. So, with that being said, y'all, keep us in your prayers. I know everybody's like, leave New York. I can't. I mean, my job is in New York. They took away options for people to work remote. So you have to do hybrid where I am. And then because of my role, I have to physically be there. Not every day, but I have to be in the office some days, which I'm fine with. I like the train ride. I like seeing the people. I like doing my thing. Then not to mention, my daughter's here. She's getting established here. So I can't just pick up and leave and say, leave New York, be scared. No, I can't. I'm like this. Most High willing, if he wants me out, he'll find a school for my daughter and find me a job quickly where I can go. But I don't think the Most High gonna just snatch me out and no school, no job, no nothing. I can't think like that. That's not even how the Father works. So, and the way the job market look right now, it doesn't make sense for me to just walk off and leave. I can't do that. But with that being said, y'all, and I'm in good standings where I am, so I don't want to jeopardize that. Just pray that if something happened and I'm visiting somebody, well, I ain't here to deal with it. But then I got to think about too. I got good friends here. I don't want to see nothing. Yeah. Oh, what was it like when I tried to rent here for the first time? Now, let me say this. When I first tried to rent here, my last landlord, I tried for maybe 2 properties. I was just looking at the time. The second time, it was easy. She saw my stuff, looked at my history. I looked at the apartment. I should have did it, not virtually. I should have did a walkthrough, but I had just gotten Rio. Rio was a puppy. He had his shots. I had just got him. I think Madison had just got him. It was a lot going on where I couldn't leave. But it was really easy when I first did it. And she saw it and was good. My rental experience, but you got to think about when I was moving here, they needed us. They needed people because people were, it was like a mass exodus out of New York. And you remember rent was really cheap then when I moved here about 2 years ago, because it was like right after COVID. So people were leaving New York because of COVID, and they were getting opportunities to work remote. So people was like, you know what? I can work for my company remote in New York, and I can live in Florida. I can live somewhere else. I don't have to physically be there. So they needed people to come into the city. Now that people are here and they pulling people, more and more people coming in, they now like, I don't need y'all. So it was good and easy the first time because again, they needed us. They needed somebody to rent. Now the control is no longer on the renters, it's more so with the owners. And the owners are making, because the owner for my apartment, my last apartment, was not that involved. He was not that involved. So, and I think I looked up on this rental unit because I've never had a conversation about an owner when I was living in that last unit. But this is a little different. But obviously something is going on. So y'all, it's just this is. And again, and I'll say this much. I not well, I ain't gonna say that. I'm good. But y'all, that's all I wanted to say. I feel the discrimination and I even talked to some of my colleagues and explained to them and they don't look like us, they look like them. They're like, wait a minute, hold on, that don't sound right. And I'm like, it is what it is. I gotta shrug on through it. But like I said, before I go into something like that, I am going to gladly decline and go and find something else. Like I said, I will live in a Hilton or an Airbnb before I let some person who does not know me disturb my peace. I refuse to let them disturb, and I refuse to give somebody money to live in just the conditions that I saw. Because for you to show me the apartments that look bad and you've got water damage and all this, and you tell me it's good to go, no, that means I'm gonna be dealing with a slumlord. Like I said, there's too many options out there. Somebody said 2,500. Oh, sure will. 2,500 will get you a real nice townhouse in Chicago. Now I promise you, Chicago is home to me, baby. If I could transfer my job and my daughter, I would surely run to Chicago. But before I let anything beat me, I'm gonna stand firm. When I leave, I'm leaving on my terms. Or the Most High say, "You ain't got no choice now. I'm gonna make you go. Go." But I'm not gonna let anybody run. One thing I do is I don't run. I'm not gonna let anybody run me off. So, but but I'm not gonna accept anything either, at all. And they think that Black people are just supposed to accept it. We're not supposed to accept anything. If you show me something in the hood that does not meet my requirements, I'm not gonna take it. I decline. Gladly would decline. I would gladly decline and say, holla at you, moving on to the next one. And I'm not gonna hand you my money. Not to mention, the one that I told y'all about, the one where the washer and dryer was upstairs and downstairs it was no washer and they added $200, and the one that was cheaper happened to get already had an application, had already been rented and had a contract on it, but the top one that was higher, you want to give it to me. Then I got to fight and go back and forth with y'all. Guess what? I got to give you a broker's fee. Because keep in mind, this apartment that I looked at that was downstairs, and I'll tell y'all the price was like $2,600. Cool. Understand it. Yeah, people say cost of living is high in New York. Jobs make it easier because, well, some jobs salaries are based on the cost of living in New York. So what I make here, I probably wouldn't make that if I was living in North Carolina, but they have to do that because of the cost of living. So, but I have a range. My range actually was like 25. I was willing to go 25, 26. I saw 3 bedrooms that was 24, 20, and they were in decent neighborhoods. I would say at the max 27. I saw some good ones. They wouldn't let me have it. You tell me the one that's 26, and I'm just going to negotiate it down just a little bit more. All of a sudden, wasn't there, but the one upstairs is $28.99. No, I'm not going to pay that. No, I don't want to pay the 26. I'm gonna talk y'all down on this 26. To talk y'all down to 24 if I can, because you can negotiate that. Some will negotiate with you. No, I'm good. And then I got to pay the broker's fee, which is equivalent to the rent, first month's rent and deposit. I would have had to hand them. My math is not mathing right now, but I say round it off $3,000, almost $9,000, give or take a couple of hundred, but to go somewhere where owner is gonna torment the mess out of me. Because that owner would have not only given me the blues before I walked in, that owner would have given me the blues while I was in there. No, I'm not gonna do that. Whatever behaviors you see at the beginning are gonna be the behaviors during the time you're there and after you leave. And then what happens is they'll give you a bad review, and then if you want, or give you something, strike some on your credit or give you problems, and before you know it, you got other problems going on. So with that being said, family, I am good to go. I'm out. I'm not upset anymore. The Most High's blessing. I refuse to let the enemy piss me off, even though he's been pissing me off all week. I've been in tears, but I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it, and I'm at peace with it. So y'all willing? I'll be somewhere soon. If not, if I have to take a month or two to find it, so be it. But what I'm not going to do is run into something that's going to disturb my peace for a year. I'm not going to do it. No, I'm not going to do it. It's not going to disturb my peace. You're not going to disturb my peace at all. If you want that certain element in New York that you don't, go ahead and have at it, honey. I'm not upset. I'm at peace. So with that being said, y'all, I'm done. I got to continue on with my day. Actually, I'm not probably going to look at anything. I'm not going to look for anything today. I'm actually going to take a break today. And I'm going to go to Street Easy nor Zillow. I'm just going to chill and work on something else. I got other stuff I need to work on. So that I let fall to the wayside because I was trying to find an apartment. So I said, let me take care of my other projects and then move on. Tomorrow, y'all, I have a debate on my channel with between Yakoba and Judah Hebrew in reference to is Ethiopia the promised land. That happens tomorrow. So y'all come on out and join me tomorrow at 2:30 Eastern. That was another thing I had to work on. I was so focused on trying to find an apartment, I forgot that me and Yakoba had talked about a debate on my channel. So, but that's already scheduled. It's out there. Come and join us. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. It's not going to be ugly, because we know that's not how Yakoba or Judah Hebrew conducts himself. So, but y'all come on out, and I'll see y'all on tomorrow. Thank y'all so much for y'all support and love. If you're not subscribed to my channel, subscribe. And that's it. So, all right, y'all, have a good one.